for the U.S. to be negotiating with the Maduro government and sending back people in Justice Department custody?
It's okay because we're freeing American people who are held illegally, and we made a deal with Venezuela that they'll hold free elections. So far, they've maintained their requirements, and that's it.
Do you worry that by giving back, the guy went back today?
The good news, some of the 10 Americans back on U.S. soil grateful to be freed from a South American nightmare.
Free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last. I didn't know if I would ever make it out. And it's really scary to be in a place where you're used to having freedoms and you're locked into a cell, sometimes with 4 other people, a very tiny cell. And to realize, am I ever going to get out of this? Am I ever going to make it home? How did I get to this point? It's a very challenging situation.
Also part of the deal, the U.S. gets Fat Leonard back. Remember him? Leonard Francis, busted nearly a decade ago, bilking the U.S. military out of $35 million by bribing Navy officers with booze, hookers, and lavish gifts. He escaped U.S. custody last year and fled to Venezuela, where they arrested him. And finally, Senator Marco Rubio is slamming the deal on X this morning, saying disgraceful decision by President Biden to release Alex Saab. The administration's policy of appeasement only emboldens narco dictator Nicolas Maduro. We'll see if there is any more fallout from this deal. Lawrence?
Yeah, they do a lot of prisoner swaps. Griff, thanks so much. So President Biden sitting down for another celebrity interview, this one with Conan O'Brien, but the latest softball interview not stopping him from taking aim at the media.
I think it's beyond social media. I think it's the media generally.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming the media, but things have changed. I mean, who are the editors anymore? Mm-hmm. You don't have somebody saying, no, you can't print that in this paper because that's not accurate. There's no editors anymore.
Radio host Grace Curley joins us now. What is he talking about? I mean, the media is so favorable to him, and the little negative stories that they talk about is too much for the president? I don't get it.
Lawrence, it's insane. I mean, once in a while, there'll be some truth that slips through the cracks, but you've never seen a media so hackish and so deferential to a person. They helped him get elected. Here's the part I find so funny. There's no president in history who should be on his knees thanking the media more than President Biden. He would not be where he is today without the media. And the funny part is, he says the media is not accurate. I don't disagree with him there. But when they're not accurate, it's because they're lying for him about the Hunter Biden laptop. It's because they're lying for his administration about inflation or crime or the open border. So, yeah, they're not accurate, but it's helping him.
Yeah, they allowed him to stay in a basement for the entire campaign with no pushback at all. There was also this moment where he referred to Donald Trump from that, the villain Voldemort from Harry Potter. Let's take a listen.
The other guy says, if we can work with Putin, he's smart. Yeah.
The other guy. I like that he's the other guy. He's like Voldemort now. His name shall not be mentioned.
Well, good point.
Yeah.
I plead guilty.
What do you think about that?
I think that he is, as much as he won't say, he's obsessed with Donald Trump. And this is a note to all the journalists out there, like all the people at Fox who actually try to get Biden to respond. That's the key. You'll notice, Lawrence, that anytime a journalist says to him, why are you, trailing Trump in the polls? That's when they get the reaction out of him. He says, you have the wrong polls, or read the polls, Jack, because that's his weakness. He has a glass jaw. He is very sensitive, and he can't stand the fact that Trump might actually beat him. To him, that is unacceptable. And so that's the way to get under his skin, I think.
Yeah, his temper has been getting out of control lately. You got to ask yourself why. Maybe it's all the negative polls that's happened all across the country. People just don't like what's happening in the country. Thanks so much for getting up with us this morning.
Thanks, Lawrence.